Hello everyone, AhhLenHD here, and welcome to a nice and long episode of my career mode series. And today we get things started off by playing a game against Sampdoria. To start off with, we got our regular lineup going on here with Cavani and Muriel in the striker positions, but Sampdoria gets it started off by scoring a goal in the 3rd minute. They break free really early and put me at a disadvantage for the whole entire game. At halftime, it's still 1-0. It was pretty much a battle in the midfield, and we'd have a few chances here or there. But I break free here in the 81st minute, pass across goal, and Cavani finishes it nicely. And I was pretty ambitious now. I wanted another goal bad, but it just didn't happen for us. We ended that game 1-0. And I mean, Muriel gets player of the match, and it wasn't that bad of a game. I expected to win that one. I was kind of wanting to win that one, but you know, you can't have everything, as I've said many times. And we get an email here for people leaving during international games. And our next game here is up against Juventus. And I was a little bit nervous for this game, but you'll see here in a little bit, Vargas asks for the starting spot in this game, which was a little bit iffy, if I may say so myself, but I do give it to him. And I put in Vargas for Muriel, which I don't think was the best decision, but it was going to be bad either way, replacing Cavani or Muriel. I mean, they're both such great strikers. If you replace one of them, it's obviously going to be bad. But we get things started off here with Juventus. You see Vargas in our lineup, and Juventus's classic lineup with Chiellini and Buffon, and just workhorses back there in the defense and the goalies. But you'll see here Juventus gets it started off with a goal, and that left me pretty pissed off, I'm not gonna lie. But there's only so much you can do, and right here I get a nice chance in the 87th minute, and I thought for sure I was gonna score that, but the game ends 1-0, and I was pretty disappointed with that, I'm not gonna lie. But, you know, it happens, and Juventus is a really strong team, so I don't mind losing to them at all. It was only 1-0, it could have been a lot worse, but, you know, it happens. And our next game right here is against Genoa. And I'm pretty excited for this game because I'm seeking redemption and I want to make up for that loss and that tie that we had earlier in the episode. But I go back into my squad. But we go back into the squad and we replace Vargas with Muriel, and I'm just done with Vargas at this point. Replace him with Insigne in the substitutes. Don't even want him on the bench anymore because he usually doesn't do anything for me. He had that one good game earlier in the season, but that's about it. And you see there Muriel finally back in our lineup, our usual standard lineup. But we get things started here, Maggio going down the side, and he gets fouled at the edge of the box, and the ref calls a penalty. And I was happy when the ref called this, but you know, Cavani always putting it in that top right corner. That's where I'm going to go 9 times out of 10. And Cavani scores that 9 times out of 10. But also here in the 86th minute, Muriel breaks free, just pace abusing, no one can catch up, and he finishes it nicely in the top right corner. The keeper will never ever get to that. There's no way. But that's the way this game pans out, and 2-0 victory for me. I was pretty happy with this. I was just happy that I finally won after tying one and losing one. But Cavani player of the game, which is usually Cavani's usually the player of the game when we win. But we have Gökhan Inler. He's worrying that he's not getting played, but he will get into the starting lineup later on in this episode, and you will see why. I think it is in this match, but we have a game coming up right here against Chievo Verona. I think that's what they're called, but we get things started off here, and Belhanda passes it to Muriel. Muriel has a really good fake shot, and that is blocked, but if it wasn't, I'm almost positive that that would have went in, and I was so disappointed that it was blocked. But here we have another chance, and Cavani misses it, but I mean, I tried so hard and I couldn't do it. But in the 90th minute, after the game is over, Zuniga gets injured, and I am so confused as to how he got injured, because he was just clearing the ball, he fell backwards, and he hurt himself. And that was after the whistle was blown, he got injured, which is something I've never ever seen before in FIFA. And it amazes me that he got injured, but Zuniga's a pretty big part of the team, always bombing up and down the wings. So it'll be interesting to see how we face our opponents without him. But we go into the squad here and replace Zuniga with Inler, I believe it is. We'll see here in a little bit. And pardon my phone right there, you heard the little vibration. And we end up deciding to replace him with Inler, like I said, and then put a little left mid in the substitutes, just in case Inler gets injured as well, playing a center mid in that left mid spot, which might not be the greatest idea, but you know, the other left mid was really subpar, and I didn't really want to play him, but I changed the difficulty to professional. And the reason for that is just personal preference. I really honestly was not having fun playing on World Class, and I believe that's what this series and FIFA should be about, having fun. And just because it's on professional, it doesn't mean that I'm going to win every single game. I still lose on professional. It's just a lot more fun. World Class, when you're playing on it, it seems like a little bit of a chore. But in the 27th minute, you saw there Belhanda scored after he scored a header from a corner. And then that made it 1-1. And he scores again in the 40th minute, making it 2-1. And that's how it was at halftime. And this game honestly was pissing me off, because you can see the jerseys. I could not tell which teammates were his and which were mine, and that was so frustrating. But it was my fault. I wasn't looking at the jerseys. I just skipped right through them without even looking, but they're so similar, and this is probably one of the hardest games I've ever played. But he gets a penalty here. Of course, my fault, but I save it really, really nicely. That penalty should have went in. It was a great penalty, but here, me being silly again, now is out of it. Dennis scores after my keeper passes it straight to him. And this was one of the more frustrating games of FIFA. That's how it ended, 3-1. But I was pretty pissed off after this one. But that's the last episode. That's the last game of this episode. And next episode, you'll see if I get my revenge and how bad I beat the next match that we play. But that's it for me, guys. If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, comment. Any of your feedback helps. Thanks. Peace.